Yo, what's going on, my good people? Today, coming to you with another broadcast. Got a special guest, my good friend Brandon. And today, folks, I'm just gonna jump right into it. We're gonna be breaking down the problem with the movie, The Color Purple. The original movie and this new musical type thing that they put together. But we're gonna talk about all of it today, and we definitely gonna break it down. And I just want to thank y'all. If you're tuning in, thank you for on this Saturday. It's the Saturday before New Year Eve, so I know a lot of people, doing a lot of different things, running to the liquor stores and all that good stuff. But Brandon, man, thank you for jumping on today, man. On Facebook, we've been going back and forth with people about the movie. That should be on with black women about this particular movie, and I think we need to have a honest discussion about this. What's your thoughts?
I mean, of course, absolutely, man. They say communication rules the nation, and a lot of this communication that's been going on between black men and black women about the relational dynamics in our community. A lot of women are saying, they're tired of the gender war, but at the end of the day,
Mhm.
you cannot bring a war to the end unless you have proper communication and understanding on both sides. So I believe the communication is good. Some of it is bad, because obviously a lot of people don't know how to communicate effectively. And a lot of people don't know how to listen effectively. So that's what makes the communication bad. But I believe it's a start to, getting the results that we want to get.
Exactly, and I'm gonna get into it. Like my biggest thing is my biggest issue with the color purple is people is black women is making this seem like the experience and the thing that happened in that movie is the norm.
Right.
And that was my issue coming into the thing. Like they making this seem like this is the norm in the black community, that women are being raped, women are being abused. I'm not saying let's get this out of the way before people comment on the video or people say anything. We understand that abuse, uh the grape, can't say the other word on YouTube, but grape, DM, I mean DV and grape happens. It happens in every community, but in the black community, yes, we acknowledge that occasionally happen. But
Mhm.
my thing is, it's not the norm. It's not like it's a rampant case of it going on. Like what are your take on your thoughts on that as well?
No, I believe that to be the case. I believe we sensationalize the most salacious things that go on in our community, and we tend to, especially if I'm being honest, especially black women, and they take that and apply it across the board as if the vast majority of black men are the lowest of the barrel, the lowest
Mm,
of the lowest of the low. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate, uh but I do believe that the vast majority of black men are decent, good men. I'm not saying they're perfect, right? I'm not perfect, right? I don't try to be
mm-hmm,
perfect. I just do my best to do more good than I do bad. You know what I
mm-hmm.
mean? Um, so, I don't think it's about being perfect, but unfortunately, it's like, let's be real, man. I'm trying not to be long winded, but we got so much to
Yeah,
say.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I
yeah.
mean?
Go ahead.
Black men have been demonized from the moment we got off them goddamn slave ships. You know what I mean? So, being that we understand that, as black men, uh, you know, we kind of understand that it don't matter what we do or what we don't do, we're always going to be the bad guys. We're always going to get the
Mm,
blame. You know what I mean? We don't get any grace. You know what I'm saying? We don't get any understanding. We don't get any forgiveness. We don't get none of that. But women do, especially black women. So because you have that dynamic, right? We talk a lot about double standards when it comes to black men and black women. That's a huge double standard that you will rarely hear men talk about, right?
Yo.
But you know, again, it's so many different topics we can go left and right. But the point
Yeah.
is, you know,
And that's you brought a good one because they took something that's not the norm in our community
mm,
and made a the lady wrote a book. It's her right to write a book, a fictional book as that. It's a
right.
fictional book. It's her right to make that book. But the issue comes in.
Oh man, you breaking up. I don't know if you can hear me, but you went out. Hopefully it ain't me. Let me see. I don't know if you can still hear me, Kay, but you went out, my man. Oh man, what happened? I don't know if the people still hear me, but I'm gonna send them a message on Facebook.
Hey Brandon, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay then, man. I my phone started tripping on me, man.
Yeah,
So it's all good. I'm gonna have to handle it like this. Give me 1 second, man. I was going off, man, and
I
this thing,
figured you was still talking.
man, I was. I'm using my phone, and then I think somebody
Damn, it went out again.
and it messed me up.
Yeah.
So hold on, let me. But yeah, I'm back on. But yeah, man. So my thing is what I left off is they made something that's not the norm
Mm-hmm.
seem like the norm. That was my
Right.
biggest issue. They made something that's not even the norm seem like the norm.
Right.
So like they made it seem like back they basically tarnishing the legacy of the great men from the past that didn't have anything to do with DV and grape. Made it
Right.
seem like that's the norm. Like I said, it's a lot of things that black women did it in the past. Like I said, I don't know if it cut off on me when I was getting to this point, but like black women, putting babies on men that aren't not theirs. Like what they're saying, mama's baby, daddy's maybe type situation.
Yep.
domestic abuse from women from the past. But why should black men highlight something that's not the norm?
Right.
That's my thing is highlight something that's not the norm and making it seem like it was the norm back then. And I do want to play this video of Farrakhan speaking on this back in the day, back in the 80s. Let me play this video real quick. Hold on 1 second.
That's bad.
When the enemy is writing a script from the book and making a movie for you to see, his aim is not just artistic. His aim has to do with the overall theme that I worked on for 15 minutes before I got into The Color Purple. His aim is, if you rise, he falls. So in order to impair your rise, I must put things before you that will increase the possibility of your never coming to power. And if I continue to lambaste the black man, if I destroy the man in your eyes and in his own eyes, he will never be able to rise. And if he does not rise, I will not fall. He means, if you rise, he falls. So in order to impair your rise, I must put things before you that will increase the possibility of your never coming to power. And if I continue to lambaste the black man, if I destroy the man in your eyes and in his own eyes, he will never be able to rise. And if he does not rise, I will not fall. The Color Purple. I am not arguing about the reality of what is on the screen. I am arguing about the motivation, the subtlety in those who write that you never see, those who direct that you never see, those who are behind the scenes using the God-given talents and gifts of brilliant black artists to portray something that dehumanizes and keeps you in a mode that you cannot come to power with yourself. The Color Purple. So
So yeah. So what you think about what Farrakhan had to say on it?
I mean, I think he's dead on. Um, we're all familiar with uh, the concept of the Willie Lynch letters.
Mm-hmm.
We're all familiar with the things that the government has admitted to doing to destroy the black community. So somehow we forget how that plays a part in what we're seeing today in our community. Now, I'm not holding them solely responsible, because it gets to a point where once you realize that other people have done things to influence your reaction, then you have to be able to say, okay, you know what? You got me once, but you won't get me again, because I know what you're capable of and I know what you're trying to do. right? And I can see the traps that you're putting in front of me. So I'm not going to allow myself to be put in a position to get caught by the trap. But we're still allowing ourselves to get caught by the trap willingly. So now at this point, I don't even really address white folks for what they've done because we know what they've done. We know what they continue to try to do. Me personally, I've gotten to the point in my consciousness where it's like, nigga, you know what white folks are capable of. Why are we still talking about white folks? Why are you still allowing white folks to dangle the cheese in front of your face, knowing it's a trap? So at what point are you going to hold yourself accountable? So that's where I am with it at the moment. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I'm with you on that. And see here. So that's a great point because we keep falling for it. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, just making sure. I just got back on screen. And my thing is, it's so many positive stories that we can put money behind instead of this false narrative about black men, because it is false. A very false narrative that we could have put energy and time and money behind instead of this make believe concept that black men are on a rampant doing things like this. You know what, Brandon? I thought about something before we jumped on live. This basically is the new version of the Birth of a Nation that the Ku Klux Klan made.
Mm-hmm.
This, you remember, for the people that don't know, Birth of a Nation movie was a movie made that made black men look like they was raping white women.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, we know that wasn't true. So today, this is the new version of that. The new version of that. So I think this is the new version of that. And women, they should see this. You would think they would see this, but they for whatever reason they don't.
Well, honestly, I don't think they want to see it. It doesn't benefit them to see it from their perspective. So because they don't see any benefits of seeing the propaganda, in these type of movies and productions against black men, because in their mind they don't need a man. So because they don't need us, right? They're like, who cares what it makes the black man look like, right? Because I don't need him anyway. You see what I'm saying? But if they understood how much they really do need us, and you hear it when they talk, they give the they give the Blues Clues when they talk, and they don't even realize it, right? A lot of the time, all you got to do is let them talk, and you can use their own talking points against them, right? Like I put up a post the other day saying, the man is the prize. The reason why the man is the prize is because the vast majority, the vast majority of women think they are good women, right? Those same women also believe that the vast majority of men are not good men. So, if you have an abundance of good women, right, and you have an under abundance, so to speak, right, you have a high demand for a good man. When that good man comes along, wouldn't it make sense that the good man is the prize? Because you have an abundance of women going after this one thing that's hard to get. This is what they say. So wouldn't that by default make the man the prize?
Facts. And another thing I want to touch on as well, let's bring some numbers into this. Let me share something. Let me share this. Let's see here. I got to share this. Where is it? Here we go. So let's look at this. I pulled up the stats. So if you see this, can you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, let's make this larger. So let's break down black or African American. Basically, black is basically anybody that's could be Nigerian American, it can be Caribbean American, anybody that don't consider themselves African American. So this right here is the black part is going to inflate the number a little bit. We're not even talking about strictly African Americans in these because they don't. You gotta find out what this stuff means. Like you'll be confused, like why they put black or African American, but that's what the black part means. So basically, in 2019, we had 1.8 million crimes committed by black or African American. This includes women as well in here, but we just gonna assume that we talking strictly about men, but it's women in these numbers too.
Okay.
The grape part, only 4,427 grapes happened in 2019. Out of the 1.8 million crimes committed, only 4,400. Only 4,400. That is less than 1%. It is way below 1%. That is crazy. But let it tell it. Let black women tell it. This is rampant right here in our community.
Well, you know what they're gonna say.
What they're gonna say on the ones a lot go unreported.
Right.
Even if that's true, it's still something that you gotta have something to go off of, right?
Right.
Even if it was rampant, this number should be at least, let's say, bare minimum 100,000.
Right.
It's not even close.
Hey, but watch this though. Did you know that domestic violence in lesbian relationships is exponentially higher?
I was gonna pull those numbers, but I was like, didn't want to go down in the weeds. I had those numbers ready too. I didn't save them though. But those numbers are crazy high. We gonna do another video. I'm gonna pull those stats and numbers for everyone to see.
Yeah.
But even let me see here. Let's see here. Let me close that down. I'm gonna share these other numbers too. Where it's at. Let's see.
Yeah. And watch this. While you looking up those numbers, right? I'm gonna give an example of how men get blamed for shit that a lot of the time really ain't their fault, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you watch Country Wayne skits?
I used to, not lately.
So there's a skit that recently came out where basically, long story short, a husband and a wife was having a little disagreement, and the husband kind of turned his back and was walking away from the wife.
Yeah.
And the wife mushed him in the back of the head, right? That's domestic violence. That's abuse.
Wow.
So out of reaction, the husband kind of like turned around and was like, "Get off me." You know what I mean? But inadvertently hit her. But you know what the skit portrayed? It portrayed as if he was the one that hauled off and just hit her for no reason.
Wow.
But she was the one that incited the violence because she mushed him in the back of his head. But women never get held accountable for the shit that a lot of the time cause the results that they get.
And on top of that, Brandon, I just pulled it up right here. It said offenses against the family and children. I'm guessing this is DV right here. Black people, black men, or just black. Well, this doesn't say men, but just black people in general. Only 16,000. We're gonna assume majority of this is supposed to be men anyway. Only 16,000.
Yeah.
Out of the 1.8 million, only 16,000. And you always notice how the white population numbers is always so much higher. Of course, they're gonna say, "Well, it's more white people," but yeah, even if but you let the media tell it
Percentages.
and let black women tell it, we supposed to be making up half of this number right here,
Right. Well, I mean, you
but
got to
we
go by the
not.
percentages, right? You know,
Yep,
obviously, it's more white people, it's far more white people in the United States than black people. But when you
and
look at the percentages are astronomically higher as far as violent crimes from white people.
exactly, exactly, and the numbers just it just does away with the claim that black men are doing DV and great at a high number.
Right.
We only doing 1.8 million crimes, and the one that black women like to talk about, or just people in general like to talk about, is rape and DV, and we see these numbers are very low.
Well, again, you know, the argument is going to be, well, most of it doesn't go reported. Okay, fine. I mean, I don't know how many, like, like what, and then when you start talking numbers, they never actually have any, you know, actual numbers we can refer to actually make a change. But it's always like, I feel like my best friend is going through this. They always talk from a, you know, from a singular standpoint, and they apply that across the board as if it applies to every fucking black woman in the community. So, and then you gotta take into consideration, well, what kind of community are you in as a black woman, right? If you are in and surrounding yourselves with those kind of people, of course, all the examples that you're gonna see is just that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you're surrounding yourself with stable-minded, productive people, you're not gonna see that. That's not gonna be your life. That's not gonna be your viewpoint. That's not gonna be your perspective. And let's be real, most of these women that are talking crazy on the internet like that, they come from the fucking slums, man. They come from the bottom of the bottom, right? Where the minority of black people, unfortunately, because they're the loudest, represent the majority of black people that don't do the shit that you see in the gutter.
Mm.
But because that represents our culture through hip hop, TV, and all of this stuff that we idolize, right? The fucking the most degenerative of our people represents the entirety of our people culturally. And these are the women that come from that culture, that are born in that are running their mouth the loudest on the internet. So it makes it seem like this is what black people are. That's just
Yep.
the reality. That's just the truth.
It's the smallest minority being the loudest, making it seem like this is rampant when it's really not. When
Right.
it's really not. Uh, but I just want to come on live and put the stats out there for people to see. If you just coming on, you didn't see it, go back, rewatch it. I didn't want to make this a long video, but I definitely want to quickly discuss like this is not the norm. And movies like
Right.
this make it seem like it's the norm that's going on. And Brandon, we're not saying that these things do not happen. The
Right.
problem is movie and media make it seem like it's rampant and like it's a rampage out here of black men raping and DVing women when it's not the case. You know, when the
Right.
numbers, we just pulled the numbers up and showed the FBI statistics that is not the norm. And I think we going down a road where the relationship between black men and black women, man, it's getting to the point where it's be almost getting beyond repair. You know, um, I never was that person to say don't date or don't talk to black women, but I am at that point where saying if you can and you able to find you a black woman outside of the United States.
Hey, look, man, I am a man that's married to an American black woman, right? My wife
Hmm.
born here. My wife's parents were born here. My wife's parents were born here. Like, she is the epitome of a American black woman, right? No lineage, right? No immediate lineage as far as, you know, post slavery, right?
Hmm.
Of her family coming from another country, right? She has no immigrant blood in her, right? And I'm emphasizing this for a reason. I understand, right, that one, there's beautiful black women all over the world. Matter of fact, there's far more black women outside of America than there is in America, right? That's the first thing.
Yep.
So if you have the means to explore other cultures, other women, specifically black women, I'm never going to advocate for interracial relationships, but I'm also not going to be the guy that's going to be on the internet mad because a black guy married a Spanish woman or Asian woman either, right? Do
Exactly.
what you do. Do
Yep.
whatever makes you happy. But
Exactly.
I'm always going to advocate for black on black relationships, right? So
Mm-hmm.
if you have the means to leave the place where it is the hardest to get the result that you're looking for, a wise person, right, is going to say, let me go where there's the least path of resistance. That's what a smart person would do. So I'm going to advocate for you to do the smart thing. And as it stands at the moment for black men, it is not smart to invest a lot of time in trying to change the narrative with black women because it will be a waste of time.
Man, I'm trying to hold out the hope, brother. But when people,
I mean,
when women keep supporting this BS, this bullshit, man, it makes you think like y'all don't see how media works. How like Farrakhan saying in the video I played,
yeah.
it's to use the woman to make our image look bad, to take the man, downgrade the man, and basically put them on a pedestal to do
Right.
harm to their own community. You know, that's all it's doing. It's adding more friction. You know,
Mhm.
and the women can't see it for whatever reason.
I honestly think they do see it, but again, it doesn't feed the narrative of black girl magic. You know what I mean? Because
I honestly hate that bullshit black
I,
girl magic.
I'm not gonna say I hate it. I hate what it has been. I hate what it has become.
It
I
used to be
understand.
something good. It had good
Yeah,
intentions at first, but now
yeah. Just like Black
it
Lives
didn't turn
Matter. You know what I
it
mean?
turned into something just. I don't even want. That's a whole other topic too. We might have to talk about that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I ain't
But
want to be on here long, Brandon.
yeah,
I want to get your final thoughts before we wrap up.
yeah, man. Final thoughts. Let me see if I can condense this in an elevator pitch, so to speak. Um, Black men, know your worth, know your value, right? Get on your purpose, right? And once you are on your purpose, the kind of woman that deserves to be around you will appear. They are rare, right? The women
Mm-hmm.
that deserve a good man are rare. I know they all think they are good women, right? But that is far from the truth. They may be good people, but just because you're a good person doesn't make you a good woman or a good wife. That's two totally different things. One is a prerequisite for the other, but the other was not a prerequisite for the other, if that makes sense. So
Mm-hmm.
being a good person is a prerequisite for being a good wife. But being a good wife is not a prerequisite for being a good person, right? So, brothers, look, I know it seems like it's like damn if you do, damn if you don't, and that's what it is. I'm just gonna be real with you. But what you have to be strong in, you have to stand 10 toes down in what you believe. You have to stand 10 toes down in your convictions, right? You have to stand 10 toes down in your purpose. And I promise you, even if you ain't got the money, the right woman will see that and she will want to get on board and go for the ride with you.
Man,
I'll end it at that.
real talk, man. We got to do more of this. And Brandon, thank you for coming on, jumping on a Saturday. I know, it's the weekend. You out there hustling and grinding. I thank you and appreciate you. And then everybody that's tuning in, thank you for joining in on this live. Please remember to share, like, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Kentu Sankara. It's a total rebranding of the YouTube channel, Kentu Straight Talk, So subscribe, share, leave a comment, and hey, we out of here.
Peace.